Okay, we're good.
Are we starting over again?
No.
Right now. We'll call this meeting to order. We already said the pledge of allegiance. And the next item of business then would be election of a chairperson. Anybody on the
I move
floor?
that the school board chairman serve as the chairperson.
I'll second.
All right, I gladly accept that position. So then the next item of business is approval of the 2019 annual meeting minutes. Everybody have a chance to read them?
So they're in the document.
You guys want a little bit of time to go through it? It's the first page and a half of the document. Go ahead and read it and then we'll.
It's on page 5.
As we pull out of reading the minutes, I just want to appreciate with you guys the sound of that sound coming down the hallway.
Yeah,
Haven't heard that for a while.
I know.
Kids playing. All right, everybody ready? Okay, does anybody have anything that needs to be corrected from last year? All right, then I will entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the minutes as written.
Do I hear a second? Then properly moved and seconded to approve the meeting minutes from 2019. All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed. Motion passes. Next item of business is the approval of the budget and tax levy.
Okay. So the budget starts on page 7. Very similar to the preliminary budget that we went through that you guys approved. So you guys are aware of all of the items that will be changing. We'll get the official numbers in October, and then you guys will October, November, and then you guys will approve the final budget with the budget adjustment. So a lot of this is just best guess. Obviously as much as educated guess as possible, but definitely a lot of guessing, and there's a lot of variables in there that you're kind of a moving target. So I'm not going to go through line by line, because we've already done that, but just want to walk through. So if you look in the very first page, Fund 10, this is our largest budget, or our largest fund, I'm sorry, where the majority of our revenue and expenses come out of. So total Fund 10 revenues, right now we're just a little bit over $7.6 million, so $7,683,540. Page 8, you can look at the Fund 10 total expenses. Expenditures is just under that. So right now we're at $7,185,402. So like I said, definitely best guesses at where we're at for revenues and expenses. We did some new the money we talked about, the CARES Act money, we did get $80,000 worth of CARES Act money, but I do think that that's going to go pretty quickly with the, with the 3 laws that were passed with the leave, FFCRA leave that was passed into law. A lot of the money is going to be allocated towards that. Plus, we have spent some of our CARES Act money on things to prepare for this fall. So that money can be used for anything related to COVID. So anything that's safety related to the coronavirus, we've started allocating that money to that. Fund 21 we talked about, so that's our activities account is now in Fund 21. That's new from last year. That was a DPI requirement, and through the auditing process we made that switch. So now all that money is in Fund 21. Fund 27 is a special ed budget. You can see the revenues and expenditures line up just under $1 million at $990,000. Fund 38 and 39, those are our energy efficiency and the grant money, and then the debt finance. So those are the 2 funds that we're just in communication with Baird again. It does look like we're going to be moving forward with the refinance. The refinance is even better than what they had anticipated. So that's exciting news. And we've been working. Mrs. Karnick's been working with them, and I've been in contact with them to try to get that probably on the board docket for next agenda item to move forward with that. Really, Fund 38 and 39, that Baird has done that since the referendum. They help budget that. They give us all of our numbers and all of our information. So really, we just plug it in after they give that to us. On page 10, Fund 46 is our safety net. That's the fund that was created in, I don't remember what year. Do you remember what year?
15.
So my first calendar year in the district, you guys approved to do that. That's been really has been really a fantastic decision that we took from Baird, that we allowed us to kind of treat our fund money like a bank account rather than, if you underspend, overspend, you get penalized with your state aid the following year. And this allows us to not get penalized, to have that Fund 46. Fund 50 is our food service account. Since I've been here, it's always been in the positive before me. And even while I've been here, it's been always really in good shape. Fund 72 is a scholarship fund. And then Fund 80 is a community service fund. So what I did create, we didn't go through this in the preliminary budget, but really where all of that budget, all that money is budgeted. So starting on page 11, just put in some graphs for you guys to look at to just give you an idea of where and how that money is spent. So for us, this is specific to the Clear Lake School District. So the funding process is not the same for every school district, but for us, our 76.5% of our revenues comes from state aid. So we're a heavily state aided district. Local revenue is 15%. Federal funding is 3.5%, and then other revenue is 5%. So this is specific to Fund 10, of our almost 7.7 million, about 5.9 million of that comes from our state funding. Then at the bottom of page 11, the total expenditures, just kind of where that money is allocated towards instructional. 50.5% of our funding is dedicated to instructional services. Non-program services is about 9.5%, and then support services is about 40%. So of the almost $2 million. Then if you go to page 12, you take a look at our entire fund, not just, so the previous page was just Fund 10. Page 12 is all of the funds that we have, or almost all the funds that we have in the district. So 74.5% of our funding is from Fund 10. Fund 27 is 9.5%. Fund 38 and 39 is 11%. Fund 50 is 4%, and then Fund 80 is 1%. And then expenditures is about the same. So then if you go to page 13, which is our property tax levy, we're going to be levying at the very top of the page. The graph just breaks it out. But then the Fund 10, Fund 38, Fund 39, and Fund 80 are the 4 funds that we levy each year. And then total school levy is just over $2.2 million. And then the breakdown is above that as far as what we're levying for. So this year, right now, currently where we're at, we are projecting a 9.45 mill rate for 2020, 2021. So that's based off of a 2% increase for all staff members, and that's based off of a 1% property value increase. So most likely, and then that's based off of this is a very conservative budget. So it's based off the numbers not changing for the per pupil state aid, and then the 1% property value, and then obviously the 2% increase. So we will have, if I had to guess this year, we'll have some flexibility when the real numbers come in October and November. So again, mill rate is at 9.45, which is a little lower, than we'd like. So that might give us the flexibility to levy a little bit more when all of the numbers come in. So any questions with anything that I just shared as far as the budget or the tax levy?
Well, somebody's gonna say good job, Josh.
Thanks.
9.45. It's pretty low. Okay, any questions on
Questions?
the budget? All right, then I will entertain a motion.
So move.
I'll second
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the budget and tax levy. All in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the approval of the school board salaries.
I move to approve the school board salaries at the current rate and the stipulation that they attend 2 Wisconsin school board events to get that salary.
Could we, do you mind me interjecting, could we make it so that they can, not necessarily attend in person? We made that switch last year, and especially with the pandemic year. So we've been getting webinars and anything accredited through or associated with, I think is the term we used last year.
Associated with that,
Thank you,
yes.
appreciate it. Gives me some more flexibility.
Okay, I'll entertain that. Well, that motion's been made. Second?
I'm looking at it.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the school board salaries as stated. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the consent agenda. Generally speaking, we'll list them all out and have you guys make a motion on all of them, if that's okay with you guys. All right, then the consent agenda. A, authorize the operation of a school lunch program. B, authorize the provision for student insurance. C, authorize the board to short-term borrow to continue the operation of the district. D, to authorize the board to sell tangible surplus property. E, to authorize reimbursement to school board members for expenses incurred. F, authorize the board to transport students. G, authorize the prosecution of defense of any school litigation. And H, any other thing that you guys might want to add. So I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda A through H.
I will second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion passes. The next item of business is the state of the district. First, we'll hear from our superintendent, Dr. Ernst.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the rest of the document for you guys. And normally we kind of talk through the entire year, but I feel like it's been, we said a lot of the same things with the COVID stuff. But, so on page 16 is our calendar, 2021 calendar. We start the in-service, all teaching staff and support staff are gonna be in the building on Wednesday this week and Thursday. Friday, they don't report to the building, and then all students will be reporting to the building. I should say that school starts September 1, but due to COVID, we had to make some adjustments. So September 1, we're gonna have the open house at the elementary, and then September 1 and 2, we're gonna do a staggered start at the junior senior high with not all kids reporting on both days. So really, August 3rd is Thursday, August 3rd is gonna be our first day with all students in both buildings throughout the district.
September 3rd.
What's that?
September 3rd?
Yep, what did I say?
August.
Oh, sorry, yep, September 3rd. Thanks. Yep. Okay, then we'll skip to page 18, and we had this was really a wild year. We've said this to multiple groups of students and staff, but it really has. For me, it's been beginning in March, we said we had a closure, and obviously we're gonna step up the rigor and, the expectations for all, but it was really impressive to be a part of what all went down in March in the district. And from March until now, it really hasn't stopped. And I've been impressed. I know I usually thank everybody, and not that I didn't mean it in previous years, but this was really just, I can't really make it so it is more heartfelt, but I am so appreciative of this staff in the Clear Lake District, and I've never been, more proud to be a part of something. It's really, everyone stepped up, and, we had our bumps and bruises initially while we were trying to figure it out. You guys obviously were a part of those conversations, but really, in the end, everybody rallied together, and the focus of the district was not on ourselves, it really was on the kids. Like our teaching staff rocked it. I mean, they had 2 days to figure what the heck are we doing with little guidance as our admin team tried to figure out which way was up and which way was down, and trying to scramble with communications, because there was really only, between myself, Mr. Peterson, Mr. Gillis, and Mr. Rosine, 4 of us trying to get stuff out and communicate. It was tough. We don't have a big district like Eau Claire where you have a communication director, and really did our best, and the teachers really responded extremely well. The support staff stepped in, teaching staff were teaching kids while trying to plan, and the support staff came in and helped and supported in all those ways. And every time we sent an email out, whether it was homework pickup or, something drop off or something, how are we gonna get meals to kids, we would just get flooded with emails, and the response was very impressive to see from our staff as far as their involvement and who wanted to be a part of it. And it was really evident that our focus was on the kids. So it was quite the year. But as you go through kind of our accomplishments too, this has been, from an athletic standpoint, probably the most impressive year in Clear Lake history that we got to be a part of, that these kids allowed us to be a part of. I think I had said this joke to you guys before, that I told at the time my 5-year-old that I made some joke like how I was involved in the volleyball team, and that that I have the most wins as a superintendent. And he kind of looked at me and said, "Well, you really didn't do anything." And it really is true. It was the kids that took us on this wild ride, and it was the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And it was really, as I was going through it, obviously I lived it, and we all lived it. But as I was writing out the accomplishments, it was really like, holy smokes! Like, we had the girls the volleyball team win a state title. We had cross country kids down at the state meet, receiving medals. We had wrestlers receiving medals. We had the girls basketball team down at the state meet. We had the football 8th conference consecutive year qualifying for the postseason level 1 appearance. And then you had COVID happen, and it was really, you felt for all of the kids at the time, but it was really a year that I don't think anybody will ever forget, because it really wasn't. We did. I think the silver lining, we had a lot of highs last year. Obviously there are a lot of districts that just had COVID, And we had a lot of accomplishments along with COVID. And yeah, there were a lot of things that kids missed out on. And you can see, you know, on page 19, you know, the spring sports, you had baseball, softball, track, golf, trap and skeet. And it's not just, and not only about the sports. You know, I think we all are dealing with the same emotional highs and lows in our own household that our own children and that we're all dealing with this COVID experience. And I know my own family, my own children are just, they can't wait to get back to school. And I think we're going to have 600 plus kids that are feeling the exact same thing, ready to be back in school and excited. And you know, unfortunately, yeah, we all have to wear masks, but I really don't think it's going to matter. I think kids are just going to be so excited to be back. I think the staff is going to be excited to get back and have some normalcy again. But you know, and then I shared that letter out with the paper, and then I shared it with the staff too, just what all went down during that closure period. The feeding of the district, I put it down there, the 32,000 breakfasts and lunches for children from March till June. A huge thank you to, you know, all of those individuals that were involved. I can't even say thank you to just the food service department, because it wasn't just the food service department or the transportation department. It was, you look around and you know, you have everyone from, you know, Mr. Peterson handing out homework to, you know, Lacey Manti, like any position that you can think of in the district, whether bus driver, principal, teacher, support staff, it didn't matter. Like everybody was doing the same work to make sure that our kids were being taken care of. So it was like I said, quite the year. I'll stop rambling on, I think, because it really is. I really do feel like it was something that, like I said, none of us will ever forget. And I think in the long run, I think as much disappointment as our kids had, I think years from now they'll look back and think, you know, they were pretty lucky to be in the Clear Lake district. I know I felt that way for my own children and for myself. So if only it would have just stopped after the end of the year, though. It just keeps continuing. But anyway, I have the updated staff lists on page 20, 21, page 20 and 21. You guys can look through those. We do have, like, you guys have already approved some of the new hires, but you'll see the names in that. And then we have in-service is coming up here on Wednesday, and it's going to look very different. You know, we always have our staff picture. We're all going to be masked up, and we're going to be 6 feet apart, and so it's going to be one of those pictures that I think might be in the museum someday, and you won't be able to tell who's who because we'll all have masks on. But it'll be something that we'll look back on. So I think I've done enough talking. It's been a heck of a year this year, and I think I'm going to end with just thanking every single individual that a district employee, student, community member. I feel like this was one of those years where everybody was involved, and I am very thankful and appreciative to everyone that was in the Clear Lake community. So, Mr. Peterson, do you have anything you wanted to add or talk about for the year?
Yeah, I mean, I could talk about a lot of things from last year, and I would just say, you know, going back to last spring when we were hit by that situation, I just think I need to compliment our staff. They were flexible, they were creative, they were innovative. I think just the teachers in the room here, and think back to some of the things they were doing online or with videos in their classrooms, and you know, sometimes they weren't getting a lot of feedback from people on the other end, but they were still just putting it out there and cranking it out there, despite, again, very little direction that they were given, what we were able to do and what we were to do. And, you know, I think it's a good point. You know, we tried to do a little video at the end of the year to celebrate with the kids, to talk about, you know, all the good things that did happen last year, 2019 and 20, up until, you know, March 17th. We had a great year, and we did a lot of good things in both buildings. But just also, I think, yeah, just that service ethic, and we try to talk a lot about character and character education. We talk about the warrior way and doing things, and I think our staff, you know, really showed some great character last spring and over the summer. And you know, the attitude was not negative or why do we have to do this or what am I supposed to do. It was more like, people were more like, I want to make sure I'm doing enough. I want to make sure I'm doing my part. You know, teachers who are feeling like, well, I don't want to be slacking off. I don't want people to think I'm not doing anything here. support staff, again, volunteering, as Mr. Hurst said, coming in just to do all kinds of things, whether it was delivering meals or handing out homework and so on. So it was a nice reflection of that, and just showed our, great character and community. Over the summer too, I would just say this has been a summer like no other in terms of the amount of staff, time commitment and input over this summer. And we kind of said going into the summer it was going to be that way. We said, hey, stay tuned to your emails. It wasn't like a summer where people kind of, hey, let's step away for a while. And if you're not doing summer school, or even if you did do summer school in July, things are pretty quiet as far as staff just kind of stepping away and shutting down a little bit from school. It didn't really feel like it ever kind of shut down. We were still communicating things out and updates and changes, and just again, the staff that were willing to come in and meet with us and meet together and come up with ideas and solutions, just again, showing creativity and flexibility, and we wouldn't have the kind of plans and things that we're able to show here tonight without that. And I was just thinking about over the last month, okay, what are all the things we've done in the last month or 2 months, as far as the reentry plans and launching a virtual program from scratch, and hiring staff and coming up with new handbooks for distance learning, virtual learning, and one-to-one program for elementary kids, and launching all that. But every single one of those, involved a team and involved input from staff and people. So that's I guess that's my big point. We have technology training, trying to get the teachers prepared and the whole staff prepared for any eventuality that could come at us this year. Coming in to do different technology training and how to do video lessons and how to teach on an online platform. Again, staff members leading it, staff members willing to come in and take part of it in the summer. So just can't compliment people enough that way, unlike any other summer. So, but as far as I think about what are some normal things I would normally talk about in a typical year for new staff, things to be excited about. Well, and little projects around the buildings. Not a ton of facilities projects, but we just got done sealing the parking lot over there, repainting it. Looks great. A little spruce up on the outside of the building. But we're having a new math program at the elementary. It's really not a new program. It's more of an update of our current one, but it has enhanced features, and a new science program for grades 3 through 6, but both of them have a ton of technology and web-based features. So again, make it flexible in the case that we may have to be in a distance learning environment for a short time or a longer time. We've got that flexibility. And yeah, three new teaching staff, Rachel Gents at 3rd grade, and Rosemarie Spinell at junior kindergarten in the halftime position. And then just last week, Macy Steffen in 6th grade. So Rachel and Macy coming right out of college at the beginnings of their career, and Rosemarie is a retired teacher and is going to come back and do halftime for us, and is in a great spot for everyone right there. Win-win for her and for us. So we're just really excited to have those new staff members, and again, just want to compliment everybody for the work that they've done.
I'm really excited about this year too. I know it's been you guys have seen kind of what the last couple months have been like, but silver lining in this whole virus, as well as for education as a whole, is this is a huge paradigm shift. It's thrust us into digital learning and forced us to really learn how to teach differently and provide different opportunities for kids. And we wouldn't be able to do that without individuals like Marcy Meyer and Nick Crawford, and providing Google training and digital learning training throughout the last couple months. And we've got a ton of staff that have chosen to participate in those trainings as well, to get ready for the school year, so they can just focus on getting their desks 6 feet apart when they get here. But so a huge thank you to everybody that's been involved in those too. And we're going to continue to provide those during the school year as well, to keep those opportunities and get people digital learning in their hands to grow in those opportunities as well. So it's like I don't want to say it's kind of like Christmas, but it feels kind of like it's finally here. It's been a lot of planning and prepping and replanning and meetings and meetings and meetings, and we've had so many darn meetings. We've had meetings on top of meetings, where you step out of a meeting to hop in a different meeting, and most of which have been Zoom, which I think everyone could be like a different Saturday Night Live skit, especially some of the meetings that I've been a part of, where you have individuals that at the state or superintendent level that maybe aren't as comfortable with some of those type of meetings, but I think there's a handful of individuals that don't even know that there's a camera in their, on their device on their end, but it's been definitely a growing, learning experience and a growing experience for everyone in our district as well, just doing the different meetings, Zoom and the technology. So excited for the year to finally be here, excited to get everybody back in the building, and finally get going and get kids back in the building, and hopefully we can keep it going and keep kids in the building long term, and we won't have to do too many short-term shutdowns. So, and I think I want to end with thank you to the board. I think our board meetings have been student focused. They've been to the point. They have not been long drawn out wasted meetings dealing with drama that I'm sure a lot of districts deal with because of low performing boards. But we have a very high performing board, and I'm not saying that just because I'm in the position that I'm in. I really do believe it. I appreciate you guys' trust in us and supporting us and allowing us to do our jobs. We have not been at one point feeling like we've been micromanaged or feeling like we're dealing with other drama on top of this. So thank you, you five. I appreciate your leadership in the district. So thank you. Probably say thank you on behalf of my family as well, because they know that I'm very appreciative of the board. So and with our admin team as well. So that's all I have for our notes. Unless you guys have any questions.
I would just like to thank the board and the staff on a job well done this last 6 months, a year. You guys have done an excellent job getting through all this, so thank you.
Thank you.
Well, you guys got to see a glimpse of how we work here at our meetings, and like Josh said, they all kind of operate this way, and the performance of the staff hasn't just been as of late. We got a heck of a staff, people stepping up and sacrificing hours and like many of us have to do at times at our jobs too, but it has been incredible. So if you guys are out in the public and you're in the discussions and school comes up, if you guys could keep the flag waving real high for us, and like we're going to continue to do with that, that'll keep our community right next to us, and it'll work the way that it's supposed to. So next time of business is discussion of our future annual meeting date.
Oh, geez.
I move to leave it at the fourth Monday of August, if that works for, I believe that's a board meeting night.
Is that a Monday night?
It's the 23rd, I believe.
Yep, August 23rd.
Mark, we only meet once a month now. It's only the second Monday.
You want to do it, that might be kind of early for Mr. Ernst.
Right, I think it works good to do them different, but just to let you know, we only meet once a month.
Yep. So 23rd would be great.
Okay, do I hear a second? Or do we not need one maybe? I don't think we need one. Same time work for everybody too? Okay, that's what we'll shoot for then. Any other business? Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
I second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.